Hey guys, so this is the second set of notes for 4.3, and it's a little bit time consuming, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to find the length and slope of each of the sides of the parallelogram, and then you're going to determine what the parallelogram or the quadrilateral is based off of that, okay? So not the parallelogram, the quadrilateral. So for length, here are your two big hints. To find the length, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, remember the Pythagorean theorem is the a squared plus b squared equals c squared. For slope, we're going to count the rise over run. So remember, slope is rise over run. So we're going to make a fraction out of our rise over run. So as with that being said, these are the formulas, right, that we're going to use. I think that it's much more easier to count the slope. So when we're doing the slope, you can use this slope formula if you really want to, or you can just count. So the slope should be the easier part, okay? So if I count the slope, let's do the slope of JM first. If I count the slope of JM, remember I'm going to start at J, I'm going to count how many down and how many right I went. So if I count how many boxes I went down 2, so I'll call that -2. And I went right 5 boxes, so I'll call that +5. So I know the slope of JM is -2/5. Then I want to find the slope of KL is the other slope that I think will be easier to find. And again, I'm going to start at K and I'm going to go to L. And I'm going to count how many I went down and across. From K to L, I went down 2 as well. And I went right 5 as well. So my slope of KL is -2/5. Okay. Now we're going to do the length. So the length, you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay. So knowing the slope of these, to find the length of these, we just made right triangles. Look at the right triangles that we just made. There's a right triangle, and there's a right triangle that we just made. Okay. So since those two calculations that we just made are the legs of the triangle, what we're going to do is we're going to square them and add them together and then square root our answer. Okay, so let's look. The length of JM. Let's do this one in red. So we're going to take the JM, we're going to take the -2, we're going to square it, and we're going to take the 5 and we're going to square it. So -2 squared is 4, plus 5 squared is 25, 4 plus 5 is 29, and we're going to square root that. Okay, so I believe in when you do this in ALEKS, you just have to find that it's the square root of 29. Okay, so I know that that one's the square root of 29. And if you notice, the slopes of JM and KL are the same. So that tells me that automatically the length of KL must also be the square root of 29 because it's the same exact formula and it's the same exact numbers. So what can we conclude about what we just found? The lengths of JM and KL, which are opposite one another, are equal, and the slopes are equal. So that means that the quadrilateral must be a parallelogram because it has one pair of sides that are equal and one pair of sides that are parallel. So if the slopes are equal, so this is an important thing to note, if the slopes are equal, that tells you that they are parallel lines, okay? If the lengths are equal, that tells you that they are congruent, okay? So I want to find the one that says that they are parallel and congruent. And notice that out of all of these, the one that says that would be the second one. The quadrilateral is a parallelogram because one pair of opposite sides that are both congruent and parallel. Okay? So again, you're going to take your time with these, but pay attention to how I just found those. Find the slope first, that's the easier one, and then use the Pythagorean to find the lengths. And let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.